Hello survivors, GhostFake here, and welcome to Survivors Guild. Hello survivors and welcome to Survivors and welcome to Survivors and welcome to Survivors and hello survivors and welcome to Survivors. Hello survivors and welcome to Survivors Guild. Hello survivors and welcome to Survivors Guild. Hello survivors and welcome to Survivors Guild. Hello survivors, GhostFake here, and I'm here to share some devastating news. Despite how awful 2020 has been in just about every way, I never expected that I would have to do this. You see, survivors, the average watch time on my videos is anywhere between 4 to 6 minutes, which means that the majority of my viewers never even know what their odds are of surviving these movies. Well, I'm here to deliver every single movie that I've covered this year in a supercut of survival stats of varying quality. So now, to find out, what are your chances of suffering Survivors Guild? This is where we take a look at our main characters and the death that surrounds them to determine your odds of surviving these movies. Enjoy. We have a total of 6 characters. Only 1 survives, which means that you only have a 16.7% chance of surviving. Given those odds, how many nights would you survive alone on an island before the Shape of Water Fishman guts you like a fish? Making a total of 22 characters, and only 6 survive, which means that you have only a 27.3 chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, which of the face friends would take off your mask? So out of 14 characters, only 4 survive. So that means that you have a 28.6% chance of surviving. Given these odds, which cult member would snuff out your life? Giving us 8 survivors, which means that you have a 20% chance of surviving this movie. With those odds, which of the banana splits would shut down your life? So out of 24 characters, only 10 survive, which means that you have a 41.7% chance of suffering Survivors Guilt if you were in this movie. If you died in this movie, tell me how in the comments below. So that means that out of a total of 14 characters, only 4 survive, giving you a 28.6% chance of surviving this movie. With those odds, which of the 3 Killbillies would smother out the flame of your life? So that means that out of 13 characters, only 4 survive, which means that you have a 30.8% chance of surviving this movie. With those odds, how would Peter make this camping trip your last? Which means that out of 397 people, only 4 survive, giving you a 0.01% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how quickly would you die if you were in this movie? Which means that out of a total of 8 characters, only 4 survive, giving you a 50% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would you survive in a world of silence? Well, that means out of 27 characters, only 3 survive, giving you a 12.5% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would the bastard son of Loki put an end to your life? Giving us a total of 19 characters and only 4 survive, which means you have a 21.1% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would this family of Killbillies turn you into their next meal? Which means that out of a total of 18 characters, only 3 survive, giving you a 16.7% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would Three Fingers keep you from attaining your freedom? Which means that out of a total of 11 characters, only 2 survive, giving you an 18.2% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would these rogue bots make sure that you have a nice day? Giving us 5 survivors and a total of 20 characters, which means that you have a 25% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would Uncle Sam make sure that you pay the ultimate price for your country? Which means that out of a total of 15 characters, only 5 survive, which means that you have a 33.3% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would Cropsy cut your camping trip short? Which means that out of a total of 18 characters, only 3 survive, which means that you have a 16.67% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would these Killbillies keep you from returning in future installments? Which means that out of a total of 11 characters, only 2 survive, which means that you only have an 18.18% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would these GMO sharks make sure that you never have to file for unemployment? That means that out of a total of 11 characters, only 3 survive, giving you a 27.3% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would these bull sharks keep you from living for Leslie? So that means that out of a total of 11 characters, only 3 survive, giving you a 27.3% 32.3% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would these bull sharks make you regret having a Y chromosome? So that means that out of a total of 1,114 characters, only one survives, which means that you have a 0.09% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, what sin of yours would the ferryman exploit to collect your soul? Which means that out of a total of 18 characters, only 4 survive, giving you a 22.2% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would these fishbillies make sure that your family wins the game of who lost the most loved ones? So that means that out of a total of 8 characters, 5 survive, giving you a 62.5% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, what color would you change your hair to using only magic? That means that out of a total of 15 characters, only 5 survive, which means that you have a 33.3% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would these killbillies make sure that you don't go on to write and direct the 6th installment of the franchise? So that means that out of a total of 16 characters, only none of them survive, giving you a 0.00% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would you tell Jason to go himself? Which means that out of a total of 66 characters, only 4 survive, giving you a 6.06% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would Cyrus tempt you into making the ultimate sacrifice, making you the 13th ghost? Which means that out of a total of 19 characters, only 1 survives, which means that you have a 5.26% chance of surviving this movie. Given those odds, how would Billy and Agnes make you part of their family now? And how unusually festive would it be? Let me know in the comments below. Alright guys, as always, thanks and don't die.